Okay, let's click on what were some of the ones. Let's do probability over here. I could probably do this. Now you only get to do if you got a free account. Does that still look good on OBS? Yeah. If you got a free account on Brilliant, you only get access to the first one. So down here, there's rules, conditional probability, poker variance, all these. There's a lot. So I mean, you do get probably good value for your money. But let's just do this first one. Oh, we'll suck at this. In this world where nothing is certain, learn to apply reason to randomness. See also the phase that everyone goes through in high school where dinosaurs go rawr, end quote, the Penguin of Doom. What you'll accomplish. Get to know the basics of probability and learn how the whole world is probabilistic. That's probably a dumb word to use. Explore the probabilities of weather and how often to expect the weather report to be wrong. 100% of the time? Come on, these fucking meteorologists don't know what the fuck they're doing. Learn from me. Which is more likely, winning the lottery or 20 dice all coming up threes when you roll them? I can calculate that one. This is what? 1 over 6 to the 20th power? And then this is just whatever's on the back of the... They give you the answer to that question right there. What does it mean when a physicist says a new discovery has a 5 sigma significance? It's out 5 standard deviations from the average. I know what that means. I'm 6 sigma, fuckers. Let's get started. Probability is more than just dice rolls and coin tosses. No, it's not. Let's do it. Okay. Thinking probabilistically... Linda is 31 years old, single, outspoken, and very bright. She majored in philosophy. You didn't have to say that part. I probably could have fucking guessed. As a student, she was deeply concerned with issues of discrimination and social justice. Also, you did not have to say... I was going to make that fucking joke after I read this. And also participated in anti-nuclear demonstrations. Which of the following scenarios is more probable? Linda is a bank teller, or Linda is a bank teller and is active in the feminist movement. I really was not expecting this stream to go to this territory. I was supposed to be doing math. I'm going to have to be a shitlord. I'm going to say Linda's a bank teller, and thinking probabilistically is because if she was a bank teller and also a fucking toxic SJW, I don't mean to use that. I'm not trying to... This is not the fucking Ralph retort or whatever, but if she's a fucking SJW, you would not be able to work at a fucking bank, because when's the last time you went to a bank and you saw a fucking danger hair behind the... Better yet, when's the last time you were in a bank and just saw this person with rainbow-colored hair just in the bank, even as a customer? Never, because they don't get their money from having a job. So Linda is a bank teller because she brightened up and toned that shit down. 36% of people got that right. I weep for the future of this country. Oh, I leveled up discrete mathematics level 1, because you gotta see the opinions that I just shared on this stream right now. You got to be discreet about. That's why it's discrete math. That's not the math that you can do on the paper. The world is probabilistic. Even nearly impossible things like winning the lottery have some calculable probability of occurring. This links back to when we were talking about Publishers Clearinghouse, where the odds of winning was 1 in 6.2 billion, even though that basically rounds down to 0 in every single circumstance. You still have a chance you have a non-zero chance of winning. Whose statement is the most reasonable? I just flipped 3 heads in a row with a fair coin. My next flip is very likely to also be heads. Ali, you're full of shit. Ben, I rolled a fair 6-sided die 10 times and I never rolled a 6. The next roll is especially likely to be a 6 because I am due for one. Ben, you are also fucking dumb, which means that Cam is going to be correct. Usually, if it rains in Brilliantia, 40 kilometers west of where I live, it rains here a couple of hours later. It just started raining in Brilliantia, so it will probably rain here soon. Cam is correct because that's a pattern. Allie, that's not the right pattern. He's like, you flip a coin, you have a 50% chance every single time. It doesn't matter how many times you get heads. Ben is equally as stupid as Allie with just a different equation. See, 81%, only 81% of people got this right. You mean to tell me the other 19% of people thought Allie or Ben had the right idea? Like the fucking gambler's fallacy here? I've never rolled a 6, but I'm due for one. That is not how the world works. You have a 5 out of 6 chance of not rolling a 6 when you roll dice. You are way more likely to not get a 6. In fact, this dumb fuck over here who thinks he's never going to get tails on a coin is more correct than you, Ben, because at least there's a 50% chance he's right. Oh, here's this question. Probability allows for the quantification of extremely rare events. For example, suppose Tim has 2 ways to try to win a large sum of money. Win at a lottery with the chance of 1 in 300 million, roll a fair 6-sided die 20 times and roll all 6s. Which is more likely to happen? Let me open up a browser for this one. Let's do some math. If I divide 1 by 300 million, what's that in scientific notation? That's 3.333 E9. That's the scientific notation for that. So if I do, this is 1 divided by 6 raised to the power of, what was that, 20? So, Ben is more like, who is it? What's the guy's name? Tim. You're more likely to win the lottery, Tim. 63, really? Oh man, we're coming back. We're coming back. Other questions made me feel like an idiot, but these ones are making me feel smart. I'm enjoying this one. Thinking probabilistically is one of my strong points. I can't wait to level that up on brilliant.org. Which of these events is the most likely to happen when flipping a fair coin? Flip 2 or more heads when flipping 3 coins. Flip 20 or more heads when flipping 30 coins. Flipping 200 or more heads when flipping 300 coins. Instead of making an explicit calculation, think about how likely or unlikely each of these outcomes would be. Technically, in terms of the mathematics, those are all equally as likely to happen, because it's the same ratio. If you lop off the trailing zeros, what? How is it? View solution. Tell me why I'm an idiot. When you flip the number of coins, you expect about half of them to be heads. As the number of coins increases, you should expect the observed proportion of heads to be closer and closer to 50%. Oh, yeah. I guess you guys are right. Probability can help avoid logical fallacies, quantify rare events, and compare the likelihood of various outcomes. However, like any framework, it only works if the underlying assumptions are reasonable. An incident of the misuse of probability occurred in 1999 when Sir Roy Meadows successfully convicted Sally Clark of double homicide of her 2 children. Oh, shit. The first died in 96, aged 10 weeks. The second died in 98, aged 8 weeks. Sally Clark claimed that both of her children died of SIDS, a rare condition in which an infant suddenly and inexplicably dies. I mean, that sounds like an excuse. Oh, this baby just died! I don't know. Most humans live to be 70 or 80 years old. This one made it to 8 weeks. I don't know how. There's no intervention on my part. I don't know. The baby one minute it's alive, next minute I don't know, man. Don't put me in jail. Do not give me the death penalty. Next question. Sir Roy Meadow argued that in lower risk families, like a non-smoking household, like the Clarks, the probability of a single SIDS death was about 1 in 8,543. Out of 8,543 babies, one of them is just gonna fucking die. He's just gonna boop. It's whatever. It's like a it's like producing batteries, right? You produce the batteries out the factory. Statistically, one of the batteries that rolls off that assembly line probably going to be a dud. Sorry, your kid was the equivalent of a faulty lithium battery. Just so happens that babies don't violently explode when they fail. He further argued that the events of 2 children dying of SIDS in a single family are independent, so to find the probability of 2 SIDS deaths, you could square the probability of a single SIDS death. This is a really fucked up story to base the math around. Why don't you just say something like, Sally found a 4-leaf clover in a whole patch of clovers, and statistically the likelihood of that is 1 in 8,543. So the likelihood of finding 2 4-leaf clovers in the same patch, you square it. And then you don't have to talk about dead kids. What the fuck's the matter with you people? It's 1 in 73 million, according to Electric Sheep City. I trust his math. He's pretty smart. Yeah, 69% of people got this on 69. Some kids died. 2 kids gonna die tonight. Oh fuck, we're still going on with this, huh? That's how you can end it. Half of this lesson was about crib death. Sir Roy Meadow argued that his probability calculations imply that it was nearly certain that Sally Clark murdered both of her children. Which of the following arguments, if true, refute this? 1. It is not clear that SIDS, which could be caused by some genetic predisposition, is actually independent across children from the same parents. The a priori probability that Sally Clark would commit a double homicide was also incredibly rare, if not more rare than double SIDS. Double SIDS. Such a fucked up term. Double SIDS. It's more rare than super AIDS. It's just, that's, oh my god. Aisler Rolf, going back to my battery analogy, there is a similarity though. If your baby is leaking acid, it's also probably bad. That is true. I've never personally experienced the baby who was leaking acid everywhere, but I would throw that in the dumpster. Actually, if it's leaking acid, I would dump it in salt water first to neutralize it, and then throw it in the dumpster. Okay, so I feel like 2 is not something that you can assign a value to. You cannot assign an integer to the likelihood of somebody murdering children. That doesn't seem plausible. Although it's math, so you never know. So it's not clear that SIDS, which could be caused by genetic disposition, is independent across children from the same parents. 1 sounds plausible, because if you got like, you just think about all the times, I don't know the likelihood of like Down syndrome compared to SIDS, but since we're already talking about fucked up stuff, let's talk about retarded children. Sometimes when you got children that are mentally deficient, like with Down syndrome, or the fucking Hartley hooligans, don't Google that. When you got one bad apple, the likelihood of getting another bad apple with the same genes is very high. So I feel like 1's the answer there, because that's the one that can refute it, because, you know, you got bad genes, you're working with bad genes, that's the Punnett square, you know, whatever. So I'm going with 1. Both? Come on. You read 2 pages, viewed 1 solution, and completed 6 problems and got 4 correct. Figure out that equation. I'm not going to be able to do the next one. It's not, yeah.